Hello, everyone. It is 12 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the library instruction session. I am Julie Schiavo, and together with Sharon Duffy, we are going to present ORCID Made Easy, library support for your research profile. So in this session, we will cover what ORCID is, how to use it to manage your research profile, how you can connect it with trusted organizations, how you can use it to comply with NIH requirements, and linking with my NCBI, Science CV, and ERA Commons. And then finally, at the end, we're going to give you some resources and how to get help when you are using ORCID. Okay. So let's start with what is ORCID. ORCID stands for Open Research and Contributor Identifier. It's a persistent identifier that you can sign up for to identify yourself. Persistent identifiers are not new in scientific research. They are durable, unique IDs for digital entities. So this means that they remain constant even if the metadata change, such as if a URL changes to a web page or to an article, it will remain constant and allow people access to it. Persistent identifiers are used in many aspects of scientific research. For example, a DOI, which is a digital object identifier, it identifies research output, such as articles, or RORs, which are identifiers for institutions, such as hospitals or universities. So ORCID is a means of distinguishing yourself from other researchers and manage your reputation and your research impact. So why is there a need for ORCID? Well, because names can be tricky. This is a video, actually, and you can get to the slides after this presentation and watch the video if you would like. In this scenario, they have asked for Sofia Garcia, who is a researcher in the world of dinosaur DNA. And they're asking, would the real Sofia Garcia stand up? And as you can see, there are four people here standing up. So you need a way to identify that you are the one that that has done this research on dinosaur DNA. So ORCID stands, as I said, it stands for Open Research and Contributor Identifier. It's a 16-digit number. It is unique to you, and it will remain the same regardless of whether your name changes, your career, your location, even your discipline. Once you sign up for an ORCID, it will stay the same. It also stays the same regardless of the language that a name is written in. So this is Dr. Garcia's record. So as you can see, this is Sofia Maria Hernandez Garcia, and we have her ORCID number. Over here in the corner, this is her unique 16-digit number. It's attached to all of her research and all of her scholarly output. It also has, in blue over here, this box, it has also known as, these are different forms that her name has taken in articles that have been published. So also known as is not just in the criminal justice system. It is in scientific research also. Hey, so if we dig in a little bit more into Dr. Garcia's record, this is what is normally included in an ORCID profile. So they have several fields. It starts off with a biography. You can create your own biography. Also, you can list employment, education, qualifications, professional activity, and funding that you have received. Over here on the left side of the page, it gives you a verified email address, domains that you're associated with. You can link your social sites such as LinkedIn or other websites that you may produce or are mentioned in. This is the remainder of Dr. Garcia's profile because I couldn't get it all in one screen. Uh, so as I said, you can put funding in here. You can also do research resources. ORCID allows you to feature a few articles. If there's a couple of them that you are very proud of, you can feature them. They also have a choice for works, which is a list of everything you have produced, and peer reviews. And just to note, peer review will display the journal you peer reviewed and how many articles you have done. It doesn't actually say that you peer reviewed this particular article. So to register for an ORCID ID, it's really easy. You just go to this website, orcid.org/register. It takes about 30 minutes to get you initially set up. 30 seconds, sorry, 30 seconds to get you initially set up. It's going to ask you for your name, your email address, and then it's going to ask you for it. You click on next step. It's going to ask you to create a password, and it's going to ask you to choose your notification settings because ORCID will email you if there are any changes to your record. So customizing your profile. At the very least, ORCID recommends that you provide your name, your most recent employer, educational information, and your most recent works. However, the more robust your ORCID profile is, the better it will work for you. You can always go back to add more information later. Okay, so adding affiliations to your record, that's one of the first things they're going to ask you. What you'll do is you'll just start typing in the box and choose the organization or educational institution that you are looking for. Remember, we are listed as Louisiana State University Health Sciences Center in New Orleans. We are not listed as LSU Health New Orleans, so don't use that one. So just go ahead and type Louisiana State University Health Sciences Center and choose us, not Shreveport. Okay, also, you can add your works into your ORCID record. There are actually 5 different ways you can add works into it. The best way to do it is to import it from other services. Now, this would be where you can tell Web of Science or Scopus or one of the other services that ORCID is affiliated with that you want to input all of the articles or items that are attributed to your name. And if you do that, everything is going to appear in your record in a very uniform manner. If you can't do that or you don't want to do that, you can import your records from a BibTeX file if you would like, but that's not necessarily going to be the standard format. Also, if you want to add things individually, you can add them with a DOI. You can put in the PubMed ID number for an article, or you can just type them in manually. The manually, it was probably, you would use that if you are talking about a book chapter or something that isn't indexed in a database. But saving time, use the import tools. It works much better, and they're all uniform. ORCID also gives you the opportunity to choose how visible you want your record. Everyone will ask you, this will ask you either for your entire record or for an individual item in the record. You can choose whether you want it everyone, which is what most people do. So anyone who pulls up your ORCID record can find everything. Or you can limit it to only trusted organizations can see your profile, or only me can see your profile. This is the visibility for a single item in your profile. So if you just don't want to show that you worked for one institution or you published one particular article, you can set it to only me and no one else will see it. So I mentioned trusted organizations a few minutes ago. These are universities, publishers, or grant funders that work with ORCID. And what they do is they can update your profile as things change. So if you publish an article that is indexed in a journal an article that is indexed in a database, the Scopus or Web of Science will update that into your ORCID record automatically so that you don't have to remember to do that. Note that at the bottom it says source State University for this example, but if this was a journal article, let's say it would say that the source was one of the databases, whatever database you designated as a trusted organization. Scopus recommends, it's not Scopus, excuse me, ORCID recommends that you add at least Crossref, DataCite, Scopus, and a Web of Science in order to seamlessly update your ORCID profile. And also the dimensions wizard for ORCID will update if you receive any funding for grants. Okay. In order to become a trusted organization, they need to get your permission. So you can set it up when you're looking at your profile. You can pull down at the top, example researcher, that would be your name. And it would say trusted parties. And you can pull up a list of what you have as a trusted party, or you can enter new ones there. You may revoke access at any time if you decide you don't want them to have access to your record anymore. You can revoke their access and they will not be able to update it. You can also designate trusted individuals to update your ORCID profile. This would work for maybe a business manager, an assistant, someone that you trust to add to your profile. The most important thing with this is that the person who you designate as a trusted individual must have an ORCID ID. So they need to sign up before they try to access your profile and update your profile. Okay. So ORCID has lots of benefits for researchers. Once you have filled in your ORCID record and continue to authorize organizations as trusted parties to connect to your record, you can use ORCID to distinguish yourself from other researchers, manage your reputation and research impact, get credit for your research, contributions and affiliations, and also save time and data entry for funding when you are publishing or when you are working in research workflows. Now I'm going to turn things over to Sharon.
All right, thank you, Julie. I'm Sharon Duffy. I am the Research Services Librarian, and I'm going to do the rest of our presentation. And I'm going to talk about how to connect your ORCID with organizations that you need to do to meet NIH compliance of ORCID usage. All right, so ORCID is being used by major research institutions, funders, and publishers around the globe. Over 70 publishers are now requiring ORCID IDs with manuscript submissions, and grant funders are increasingly requiring ORCID IDs for grant proposals as well. So by including your ORCID ID in publishing and funding workflows, you can ensure that your work and contributions will be accurately credited to you and not accidentally linked to someone else. And it's so this is a good picture how you kind of sit in the middle, and when you have your ORCID ID up and connected automatically with these publishers, funders, and institutions, everything just flows very seamlessly, and you get credit for your work. All right, so here's a little overview of why we are where we are with ORCID usage with the federal government. So back in 2019, the NIH made an announcement that they were going to require ORCID usage for their trainees, so their grants and fellowships, and that group of researchers had to start using ORCIDs. So then in 2020, people started to see ORCIDs more, and they realized that maybe this was kind of a good thing. It was easier to link people to their research. So then the ERA Commons allowed personnel to start to link their ORCID. So kind of just the ball started rolling. Then in 2021, there was a national security presidential memo issued that mentions the use of digital persistent identifiers, did not specifically name ORCID, but pretty much described ORCIDs, describing people with a digital identifier. So that kind of created even more widespread usage, kind of that this was coming. 2023, the NSF started requiring the use of ORCID. So if you have been working in that platform, you may already be used to using your ORCID with your grants. And then in 2024, the NIH made it official. And they said ORCID is going to be required with Science CV, Common Forms, biosketches. However, because it's the US government, it was a little messy. So they said, okay, this is required, but we're figuring it out. Then in 2025, they said, okay, we're really ready now. You have to start using it. We'll give you a whole year till January of 26. And then even then they said, okay, well, it's required now, but we're going to give you leniency until May 25th. So that's like next week. So here we are. So if you are not already using your ORCID with your ERA Commons, your Science CV biosketch, now is the time. And that's what I'm going to help you show you how to make those linkages. Okay, there's other funders that require ORCID, so they have compiled a list on their website. If you are working with any other funder that has issued a policy or a statement about ORCID usage, you can review it at this link on the ORCID website. All right, so now let's talk about the NIH. So the most important thing to remember is there's two different systems that you need to link to. One is the ERA Commons, and one is the Science CV/My NCBI platforms. So just to give a little background, the Science CV is kind of nestled inside the My NCBI, and this is where researchers manage the biosketches. This one is the one that's a little bit easier to delegate somebody else to manage for you, and you can give permission to. The ERA Commons can only be managed by the individual, and that's where the researchers manage their NIH user information. So those are the two separate systems. It is essential that the same ORCID number is linked for a researcher. It is not uncommon that a researcher will have more than one ORCID ID over their career. Maybe they got one in grad school, they forgot about it. Then they went into their first position and they created another one. And then they moved to another job and they didn't remember that, so they took another one. It's so easy. They make it too easy to create one. So it is not uncommon for people to have multiples. That is fine. There is a way and a method to consolidate them into one. If you find yourself in that situation, you're welcome to contact the library. We can help walk you through that step. ORCID offers some help on their website as well. But the important thing is that you pick one and you link it to your ERA Commons, and then you have to link it to the other platforms. That's the most important thing. All right, so we'll do the My NCBI platform first. If you're not familiar with this platform or how to get here, the website is down here to get started. You will have to be logged in, so I'm assuming some level of familiarity with this platform. If not, go to the website and get started. But once you're logged in, then you go to account settings to pull up where you can link other accounts. So then when you click on that, you will open up this screen, and then you're going to want to go down to where it says the linked accounts. I have already linked my ORCID number, but if you did not have it here, then you would click on this to begin the process of linking your ORCID. So that's for the My NCBI platform. Then you're back on this My NCBI dashboard page. This might look familiar if you've been in here before, but then down here in the corner is your Science CV section. You're going to want to click on this Manage Science CV box or link. It'll pull up this screen, and then this is where you're going to be able to link your ORCID to populate your biosketch. So you click on New Document here. It pulls up this pop-up menu. And this is where you would be sure in this box here under document type to select NIH Biographical Sketch Common Form. Don't pick any other one. And then this is where it will extract the information to your form. And then here you would select where do you want to pull it from? You want to pull it from ORCID. And then it will automatically populate many fields in your biosketch, but not all the fields. So it will fill in your identifying information, organization and location section, your professional preparation, appointments and positions, and products. And that makes sense because these are kind of the same fields that Julie showed us exist in the ORCID record. The things that it's not going to fill out for you are the personal statement, the honors, and the contributions to science. So you still have to do that separately. So this really just enforces that the more robust your ORCID record is, the more it will preload these other platforms with that existing information. Always double check it, verify it, make sure it's all correct, but you can really get a head start on it by linking it to your ORCID. And then for the ERA Commons, this is a really simple one. You would just go to your home screen here, choose personal profile. This little window will pop up, and then down here is where you're going to click. Please do not click create, because you have to use the same number you're already using somewhere else. So connect to your ORCID ID. They make it too easy to create new ones, but that's how you would link that platform. Okay, so just to review, first step, register. Get your ORCID identifier. If you're a student and you don't have one yet, this is your time. If you have more than one, start to look at them, pick out which one you want to use as your main one, and start the process of consolidating it. Again, you can do that on your own. You're welcome to reach out to the library. Next, add your information. Populate it with as much of your professional information and your research outputs as you can. You really have to link it to those trusted organizations to automate the process. They will kind of keep up with it for you. If you're a researcher who has your name appear on articles that you're maybe not always deeply involved with, you'll get a notification from ORCID. They say, hey, is this you? And you say yes, and boom, it's on your record. So definitely set up those trusted organizations, that especially the top 5 that Julie recommended. Then use it. Get in the habit of using it when you submit manuscripts, when you apply for grants, anytime you present your work. Just kind of, you can see how integrated it's becoming into research workflows. This is really essential if you have a name that is very common or hard to distinguish from other names. So you really want to just start, let's create that habit. a reminder of the website to go to get started. And in the library, if you're on campus, we created some little stickers that you can pick up in the library, and you can write your number on it. Because I personally never remember my 16-digit number, but I've written it on one of these stickers. I keep it right by my computer. So now anytime I have to use it, it's right there. I don't have to go look for it. I don't have to search for it. It's literally sitting on my desk. So you can stick it in a notebook, stick it on your desk, anywhere, and then you will always have an easy reminder. So come pick up a sticker. All right, so these are the ORCID resources that we have to help you. We have a library resource guide, of course, with all things ORCID. The ORCID website is very helpful. They have some short videos you can watch that walk through some of these processes to populate your record. There's a link here to the NIH page if you need help linking to your ERA Commons. And then there's a link to the NCBI page if you need help linking your ORCID there. And then, of course, you can ask a librarian. Your first opportunity is going to be next Wednesday, May 27th. We are going to have an office hour session that you can attend either in person or via Zoom. This Zoom link actually is for the link that you can use next Wednesday and come into our virtual room. You can email us if you need more information, but just drop on in. We'll two librarians will be here ready to help you, kind of as your surrender center if you need help. And then we've also created a Microsoft form where you can request an appointment. So with this, we just ask that you tell us what school you're with, and really what help do you need, just so that we're a little prepared to, we can kind of look to see where you are with ORCID and be prepared to help you. You can set up a one-on-one appointment with a librarian to get your ORCID under control. All right. So that's the end of our formal presentation. We'll take any questions. I have a few QR codes here. There's one for a short survey about today's presentation. You can follow the library Instagram. We will be also promoting that office hours next week if you forgot. And then there's that QR code once again for the Microsoft form if you want to set up a one-on-one appointment with a librarian. So on behalf of myself and Julie, we thank you for attending. And if there's any questions.